So you think you know a lot about movies. You can recite every line from Jaws, you know who composed the music for the Matrix Trilogy, and you know which year every Back to the Future movie was released. That's impressive. But what about those lesser known facts from behind the scenes? Some facts about movies that you might not know will probably take you by surprise. And that's what this video is all about. Here are 20 shocking movie facts that you won't believe are true.
I like that.
Captain America Civil War. One day prior to filming a fight scene with Robert Downey Jr. in Captain America Civil War, Sebastian Stan sent the Iron Man star a text message saying, "Looking forward to our scene tomorrow, Robert." Attached to the message was a video of Stan doing intense bicep curls in front of the decapitated head of an Iron Man suit. The Wizard of Oz. One of the stars of the classic movie The Wizard of Oz was definitely the little dog Toto. Despite that, it's still pretty shocking that Terry, the female terrier who played Toto, was paid more per week than the midget actors who played the Munchkins. Terry received $125 per week. The Munchkin actors received a mere $50. Sleeping Beauty. Although Sleeping Beauty, also known as Princess Aurora, is the main character in this classic Disney movie, she actually only has 18 minutes of screen time and 18 lines of dialogue. That's the shortest amount of screen time for any titular Disney character, and the second quietest of any apart from Dumbo. Psycho. Alfred Hitchcock's classic psychological horror Psycho was the first movie to show a flushing toilet on film. The flushing of a toilet had previously been seen as taboo and was almost as shocking for audiences to see as the infamous shower scene. Night of the Living Dead. George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead is a classic cult horror movie that truly started the zombie genre way back in 1968. You may find it hard to believe, therefore, that the word zombie isn't actually used in the movie at any point. Star Wars. Star Wars is one of the most iconic movies in cinema history, and it gave the world one of the most iconic villains in movie history in Darth Vader. But would you believe that he only had 12 minutes of screen time in the original movie? That really is testament to the impact he had. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Monty Python and the Holy Grail is undeniably one of the greatest comedy movies of all time, and one of the most memorable scenes involved using coconuts to mimic the sounds of horses trotting. This scene was actually filmed out of necessity because the movie's production team couldn't afford to use real horses. Halloween. The terrifying mask worn by Michael Myers in John Carpenter's Halloween has become one of the most iconic props in movie history. Therefore, its origins may surprise you. It's actually a Captain Kirk mask, modeled on William Shatner himself, painted white. Not so scary now, huh? The Terminator. Although the Terminator character is now synonymous with Arnold Schwarzenegger, studio executives originally wanted retired footballer O.J. Simpson to take on the role. However, director James Cameron intervened because he thought Simpson was too nice to be taken seriously as the character. If only he knew. A Nightmare on Elm Street. The terrifying A Nightmare on Elm Street may seem like it couldn't possibly be based on a true story, but it actually was. Wes Craven based the movie on a real-life story about a traumatized young boy who had survived the killing fields in Cambodia. The boy refused to sleep, and when he finally nodded off, he died screaming in the middle of a nightmare. Die Hard. Bruce Willis has famously made John McClane one of the most iconic action heroes of all time, but the leading man of Die Hard could have been played by a very different actor. Due to complicated contractual obligations, the part had to be offered to Frank Sinatra first. Given that the crooner was 73 at the time, it was definitely a relief that he turned down the role. Jurassic Park. The special effects in Steven Spielberg's brilliant Jurassic Park were revolutionary, but one of the iconic sounds in the movie was generated in a very simple manner. The T-Rex's monstrous roar was a combination of a baby elephant's squeal, an alligator's gurgling, and a tiger's snarl, while its breath was the sound of air escaping a whale's blowhole. The Lion King. The Lion King is an iconic Disney movie that was made even better by the brilliant music of Sir Elton John. However, the British superstar wasn't even the first choice to write and perform the soundtrack. Swedish pop group ABBA were actually asked first, but one of their members, Benny Andersson, was not available at the time. Toy Story. Toy Story is arguably the greatest animated movie of all time, and it forms part of what is arguably the greatest movie trilogy of all time, but it almost didn't exist in the form that we know it. It was originally conceived as a half-hour Christmas special. Thank goodness Disney ultimately decided to make it a full movie. The Machinist. When it comes to dedication to a role, very few actors can match Christian Bale, and this was never more evident than in The Machinist. In order to portray an exhausted insomniac, Bale lost an astonishing 63 pounds. To do this, his diet consisted of nothing more than one apple and a single can of tuna fish every day. The Dark Knight. In The Dark Knight, Michael Caine was supposed to have lines in the scene where the Joker crashes Bruce Wayne's fundraising party for Harvey Dent, but Caine was so shocked at seeing Heath Ledger in character for the first time that he forgot to speak. Frozen. When you consider how prominent female characters are in Disney movies, it may come as something of a surprise to learn that 2013's Frozen was the first animated Disney production to feature a female director. Jennifer Lee holds the honor of being the first woman to helm such a movie, and even she did it in a joint effort with the very male Chris Buck. Zootopia. In Disney's hugely successful animated offering Zootopia, pop star SHAKIRA was one of many huge stars to voice a character, in her case a pop star named Gazelle. When SHAKIRA saw early designs of the character, she thought it was too skinny, and personally requested that it was meatier with bigger hips. How very refreshing. Independence Day Resurgence. The sequel to 1996's Independence Day will be released this summer, and it'll go ahead without the previous movie's leading man, Will Smith.
Who's the man? Huh? Who's the man?
However, the original plan was for Smith to reprise his role as Captain Stephen Hiller. Unfortunately, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air star demanded a staggering $50 million to return, resulting in his character being killed off instead. Suicide Squad. Due to the dark and tormenting nature of the upcoming Suicide Squad movie, and in particular thanks to the disturbing behavior of Jared Leto as the Joker, an on-set therapist was hired in order to keep the all-star cast grounded and sane. Thanks for watching our list of 20 shocking movie facts you won't believe are true. Did you know about any of these? What other great movie facts do you know of? Let us know in the comments section below, and be sure to subscribe to our channel for more great videos like this one.